Bullying in the workplace is serious. Serious enough to ruin people's lives, sometimes forever. Workplace bullying has the potential to extend to any workplace in any industry. Bullying behaviour can range from very obvious verbal or physical assault to very subtle psychological abuse. Anyone at any level in an organisation can be a perpetrator, and just about anyone can be a target. Even people high up in an organisation can be bullied. In most cases, bullying in a workplace is between co-workers or between a person in a higher position and one in a lower position within an organisation.
Aren't you in the good books?
Sorry?
Boss, he's raving about you.
I'm just doing my job.
I bet you are.
Hey, when you finish with lunch, do you mind giving me a hand with these cables? There's a stack of them.
I would have thought a Wonder Woman like you could manage those cables all by herself.
I've counted a range of different bullying, from not getting the more interesting jobs to getting harassed by some guys after they've had a couple of drinks, maybe on a Friday afternoon, or especially the work dues. I find that happens a bit more common.
Workplace bullying takes many forms, and we'll explore some of these in this program by recreating some stories which are based on real-life examples. We'll also meet some people who are involved in dealing with bullying across various industries and sectors. We'll look at: what is workplace bullying? How is the target affected? How is the workplace affected? Bullying is a legal behaviour.
Bullying captures a wide range of behaviours, from the physical all the way to the psychological. It can be very covert types of activities, but it can also be, very overt, although in today's workplace we see much less of the overt types of bullying behaviour.
Look, I think there'd be a range of different forms of workplace bullying. You could psychologically bully someone, and you could physically bully someone.
It does need to be a pattern of behaviour that persists for some length of time, and it needs to be behaviours that intimidate the individual or threaten their well-being or work, or at least are perceived that way, and that they do not feel that they can defend themselves or to escape from that type of behaviour.
I think it'd be fair to say in trades like the Electrical Trades Union, where I do communications, that there might have been in the past physical bullying, like apprentices went through initiations that were barbaric. So there's no doubt that that kind of stuff would be a clear case of bullying.
For example, in white-collar occupations, information is absolutely crucial to being able to perform one's work. We talk about the knowledge worker. And in these areas, bullying oftentimes will take the form of holding back information or giving misinformation. Another area is to also damage an individual's reputation by spreading rumors and the like, and this can create as well quite a lot of damage in the professional world.
A broad definition of workplace bullying is repeated, less favourable treatment of a target by another person or others in the workplace, which constitutes inappropriate workplace practice. It includes behaviour that intimidates, offends, degrades, or humiliates a worker. Any bullying is repeated behaviour and can involve one or more perpetrators and one or more targets.
I said I wanted this set out as a proper report. I thought we'd gotten rid of all the imbeciles around here.
But the one you showed us as an example wasn't a proper report.
Do I have to do the thinking for everyone here? Look, I'll keep it simple. Do a proper report. Any questions?
No.
Good.
Bullies undermine their targets and exert power over them. Remember, bullying behaviour intimidates, offends, degrades and/or humiliates targets.
I think bullying's a form of power play, you know, it's a political activity, it's a way of controlling people, and it's about crude power, even if it can be enacted in kind of sophisticated ways.
We have statistics that indicate that it ranges between 10 to 50% of all workplaces are experiencing bullying behaviour.
I think it's silly to think that it's just a blue-collar reality. It can happen in middle-class settings, it could happen amongst lawyers, it could happen in a hospital, it could happen anywhere.
Bullying behaviour in the workplace includes physical or verbal abuse, offensive language, excluding or isolating employees, psychological harassment, intimidation, assigning meaningless tasks unrelated to the job, giving employees impossible jobs, deliberately changing work rosters to inconvenience particular employees, undermining work performance by deliberately withholding information vital for effective work performance.
I told Frida I can't work weekends. How am I supposed to look after my father?
Some workplace behaviours can be misinterpreted as bullying. In some cases, such behaviours still should be acted upon. For example, a one-off physical assault in a workplace is not bullying, but still must be reported to police.
Hi.
So you're the new apprentice. I'm Frank, workshop manager.
G'day, it's really good to meet you. I really appreciate the job, so just tell me what to do, man, I'm there.
You'll find out how this place works soon enough.
Workplace bullying is the repeated, less favourable treatment of someone in a workplace. It is behaviour that can inconvenience a target or intimidate, offend, degrade or humiliate them. Bullying occurs in all types of workplaces. It can be physical or verbal abuse, isolation of others or psychological harassment. It is more likely when there is a high level of face-to-face contact between workers.
Hey, pretty boy, get your backside over here.
Pretty boy. What does that mean?
Get rid of that. Now.
Your performance goes off, you have sleepless nights, you might need to visit the doctor, you might withdraw from people.
You know, people can be so hurt by bullying, their world just implodes.
Symptom that is associated with anxiety is associated with the effect of bullying in the workplace.
But I've explained before, my dad needs a lot of help, you know, showering, dressing, that sort of thing. Well, the community nurse can do it on weekdays, but I'm the only one there on weekends.
How is that my problem?
Well, this is the third time in a row that you've changed my shift to a weekend. Can't we work around it?
Unfortunately for you, I can't have my staff picking and choosing when they want to work.
But...
You either want to work or you don't. Your choice.
When we hear that someone's gone off on stress leave, well, you can be sure, 99.9% of the cases, that that is due to bullying of some form or other.
It definitely affects the morale straight away. You lose your confidence, you don't want to turn up to work. Your job all of a sudden is really hard and the days are all so long.
Something's a bit on the nose today. Got a distinctly female smell about it.
Targets of workplace bullying can be affected in many ways.
You tend to isolate yourself.
They suffer anxiety, stress, a loss of self-esteem, depression. They don't enjoy coming to work, and in many cases, they don't attend. Sometimes occasionally, sometimes for extended periods, sometimes they resign.
Good riddance, mate. Good riddance.
I have copped bullying and unfair treatment and been isolated from the better positions.
At work, bullying targets often become less productive, but the damaging effects on them go beyond work and impact on other areas of their life.
Hey, Amanda. I might need to go out for 20 minutes if that's okay.
Excuse me?
My sister's not well and she needs a lift home from school. Nobody else can pick her up.
I employed you to type reports and answer the phone, not run a child-minding service.
But she's really not well.
I said no.
Relationships break down.
You wouldn't understand.
What is up with you? Every night you come home, you're in such a bad mood. It's a real downer.
It's my job.
Oh, not this again.
I hate it.
We'll get some perspective. Just because you don't like your boss doesn't mean I should have to suffer as well.
So it's all about you? You're a real jerk sometimes. I've had such a horrible day.
You've got your job, your friends. Cheer up, sweetheart. You'll be okay.
I don't understand, Mum. I don't have my job. I quit.
You what? Tell me you're joking. Your father will be furious.
They often withdraw from friends and other social contacts.
Yeah, look, thanks for asking, but I'm just not really feeling up to it tonight. Just tired, you know? Yeah. Work. If you know the truth, I'm hating it. Look, I've got to go, mate. I'll speak to you later, all right? See ya.
With some individuals, it costs greatly in terms of self-esteem and self-worth. And it can also bring victims to engaging in behaviours that are quite counterproductive, both for themselves and the workplace. For example, they might self-harm through becoming alcoholic or drug abuse or the like. And they might also retaliate on the workplace by sabotage and theft and slowing their work down and the like.
Tragically, for too many workers, the loss of self-esteem, depression, anxiety and fear have been so intense that they suicided.
The fact that they have become moody and withdrawn or angry, I mean, all the different kinds of reactions will affect the people with whom they live, whether it's their partner or their children or mother and father, whoever.
Bullying can result in anxiety, depression and loss of self-esteem. Workers who are bullied don't enjoy coming to work and are less productive. Sometimes they engage in destructive behaviour at work. Relationships can break down, and people who are bullied often withdraw from their social contacts. Tragically, for some targets of bullying, the stress and anxiety leads to self-harm and suicide.
I can't believe you stuffed up the Ford.
But I wasn't even working on the Ford. You had me degreasing the Mitsubishi van all morning.
Oh, I'm wrong, am I? Here's a newsflash for you, kid. If I tell you you've screwed up, you've screwed up. Got it? So, Danny, got a girlfriend, mate?
No, not at the moment.
Really? Pretty boy like you? Maybe you should come around to my place this weekend, eh? Pretty boy? Hey, come on, you know you want to.
Back off, all right?
Is that a no, is it? Oh well. Another time, eh? Another time.
When bullying occurs in the workplace, everybody knows that they could be next. And what this does is, firstly, the kind of environment that allows a bully to exist is a problematic environment. It already means that there are some activities occurring within that workplace environment that are toxic.
As electricians, we tend to work in teams. So when you're sort of singling out or isolating one person, it definitely affects the whole group because the job could run a lot smoother, a lot more enjoyable.
When anyone experiences bullying at work, it inevitably affects their workplace. Even just one case of bullying indicates at least one person in an organisation is behaving inappropriately. When bullying is not acted on in any type of workplace, it costs, regardless of whether it's commercial, government, non-profit or any other type of organisation, big or small, operating in any industry or sector.
But there's no doubt that people will tell you that if it happens, it does unsettle the workplace. So you've got an interest in dealing with it.
It can be very difficult for other people. There will be some people who will be frightened to intervene because they'll see themselves as being the next person to be bullied. So there's that fear associated by being associated with the person. So that certainly affects people in the workplace.
You've got to act quickly and bring people together and articulate the concerns. And I think most times, if you bring people together and discuss it, I think people realise when they're in the wrong, you know.
Production can drop, depending on how many people are affected by it.
But it's when you don't act, don't address it, you become complicit, and then it really festers.
It can be divisive in that it separates the people who are for and the people who are against. It's not a healthy workplace to have bullying going on.
Yeah. Anyway, I complained about Frida and the roster to HR. Yeah. Well, they said it was a reasonable request and they'd sort it out. Yeah, they said they'd speak to her. Yeah, it's cool.
The costs to a workplace can be considerable and include reduced productivity and increased turnover of staff. But the effects of bullying go deeper. A culture of bullying breeds fear, which leads to a reluctance to report incidents. This is the case not only with bullying targets, but also those who witness bullying behaviour.
See you, Chrissy.
In case it slipped your mind, you are here to work. You are aware of that, aren't you?
Of course.
You're distracted by the female staff. It affects your performance, and I've had enough of it.
I was just having a chat. I'm on my coffee break.
Break is over. And a word of advice. The last person that made a complaint about me to someone higher up didn't last very long in this job.
When a bullying culture exists, workers can still fail to speak up, even when an employer has clear processes in place and employees are encouraged to use them. But in some workplaces, such processes don't exist or are not made clear. If an employer is not willing to create an environment where workplace bullying can be reported and dealt with effectively, a bullying culture can become endemic.
Looks like you won't be riding home tonight. Fancy a lift?
Hey, pretty boy.
Fancy a lift? Pretty boy like you? Maybe you should come around to my place this weekend, eh? Pretty boy? Hey, come on, you know you.
Bullying can damage worker cohesion in a workplace. Even one example in a workplace should be acted on, because bullying always costs. Productivity can decline and staff turnover can increase. A bullying culture breeds fear in a workplace. Targets and witnesses fail to speak up, sometimes even when there are processes in place. Where an employer fails to create an environment where bullying can be dealt with, the culture can become endemic.
You're hopeless. You can't do anything right.
And there's another word for bullying that I think it's important that people really cotton on to, and that's harassment. And harassment is illegal. So that means that bullying's illegal.
I should have done this myself. I should have known you'd stuff up.
Well, we have an occupational health and safety officer. He looks at all of the issues in relation to workplace safety and regulations and the like. He's in contact with WorkSafe all the time.
Occupational health and safety legislation mandates a risk minimisation approach to safety in the workplace. This covers both physical and emotional safety. Every employer has a